Hello everyone, it's Matt here, and welcome to the, as previously promised or suggested, tour, if you like. So we're going to start off with the table here. This is actually where I do any videoing or photography and that sort of stuff. It's currently got the warehouse on because I was doing some work to it and I want to do some more work. But this is sort of like, so you can sort of see you've got the Winter Village station and a few other bits and pieces. And then below this we've got a boxed but opened copy of the Pet Shop, as well as two large containers for storing random bricks, one very old Lego suitcase for storing horses, and a few other miscellaneous bits and pieces, including the sorting tray used for sorting pick-a-brick cups. Moving to the right, we have my chest of drawers, which currently has Ninjago City and Ninjago City Docks on here. There's also the pick-a-brick cups in both small and large sizes, as well as a few other random assemblies and partial sets, including some really old city ones, but I'm cobbling together from old bulk purchases and bulk second-hand lots and that sort of stuff. Above the chest of drawers is the shelving for the trains, and this comprises of 4 different shelves, and they're all from IKEA, 2 which are 80 centimetres by 60 centimetres in terms of depth, one which is just 40 and then another which is 18, or 2 which are 18, I'm not entirely too sure. The bottom one used to contain a lot more trains, but has now been split off into having various things, including trains at the back, the monofigs, which I'm currently cobbling together, various other train products, and also the name brick badges. To the right of my chest and drawers is a pile of unbuilt sets. So it includes things such as this flower set, the Lego shop exclusive, the Harry Potter gift repurchase, Diagon Alley, racers, the 60-year set, and a few other bits and pieces. Moving on from that, we've got this box. I think this box contains some 9-volt train stuff. Not entirely too sure. That's the remains of the Suburban tank just there. This is all train stuff, wheels, buffers, some doors I think, and a few other bits and pieces. Above that is some actual trains, I think mostly 9-volt stuff. 48 by 48 base plates. This is a photo album which I'm using to hold stickers, which is something Jan suggested if you want to sort stickers. This is a bag of little bags, so all the ones that come from Bricklink orders go in here, so we've got little tiny ones like that, and there's loads of those. Moving on rightwards, there's actually a few boxes behind there as well. We've got the Mersey train, Ferris wheel, Detective's office, and various other sets. These have all been opened at some point, and as I've done to them, so we've got the ferry, Toys R Us truck, cargo carrier, log. This was one of last year's. Get it out. This was the Ford Mustang Fastback. It's a nice kit. I'm not sure what's in here. I think it's going to be modulars. Not too sure though. But also down here are 2 really useful boxes. These are 3-litre boxes. One is full of the 1x2 dark red plates and a few other bits for the warehouse, and this is all just light bluish grey masonry brick. So this is about half, just over half full. But that's that. Moving up from that, I'm actually standing up now, and we start looking at the shelves. These contain a variety of things: games, music, DVDs, a few other bits and pieces. Our focus is really on these 2 shelves. There's a few bits up here which might prove interesting to some. So we got some railroad DVDs. So we got Classic Steam from the 20s, from the 40s, Pennsylvania Railroad, New York Central Volume 1. And then we got Stark Night, CSI New York, Firefly, Battlestar Galactica, The Godfather, Monty Python's Flying Circus, a few other bits and pieces. Some of which is unwatched, and some of it I'll probably watch and just take to a charity shop. This was originally where books were stored, I think, originally, or maybe DVDs, I'm not entirely too sure. And now it's got trains on it. Yay. And this is actually the Brickliner train. The front line you see here is actually the newly refurbished coaching stock, which is to the brand new design. So it's 2 plates higher. There's new ends with snot. This is the tender. I've actually taken the tender out, so you can sort of see there's actually coaches behind. You can actually sort of see the difference here. There's only 2 plates in terms of the body, but it looks so much different and so much better just for being a bit taller. And the tender is actually looking a bit short now when you compare it to that, so I might extend it another 2 studs. But the one thing that I do love about this tender, 2 batteries. So there's plenty of capacity in there for power, and there's certainly enough to give it a long run. The only issue I've really got is that the couplings don't match in terms of height, but that's not too much of an issue for me. Behind the tender, we've got one of the claptraps, which the sort of did as Borderlands merch several years ago now. The Batgirl and Batman brickheads, and then we got Garrus from Mass Effect. I own 6 of these figures, but Garrus is the only one I've actually got because I've sold the other 5. And then we've got the, if I remember correctly, the observation car at the back there, and then this is actually just the standard class open, which will be, and there'll be another one of these, but for dining, when I finish rebuilding the train. So that's that. So we have railroad signals. And some MBI railroad history. So we've got the New Haven, Pennsylvania Railroad, and New York Central Railroad. Then we've got the B&O colour guide to freight and passenger equipment, and that was a really good one-off pie from Ian Allen, and I've not had anything like that since. Then we've got some classic train special editions, Steam's Lost Empire, and then we got more trains of the 1950s. I don't have the original one because I don't think I was looking around for those when I originally wanted it. That's from 2015, so that's been a while since I bought that. Then we've got some of these model railroader reference books. We've got Piggyback and Container Traffic, Livestock and Meat Packing, Express Mail and Merchandise Service, Produce Traffic and Trains, and Freight Cars of the 40s and 50s. That's a really useful one if you want it, and it was only produced a couple of years ago. It's a fantastic reference piece, even just for the photos. There's quite a lot of interesting stuff in there. These are classic trains editions from various times. This was the most recent one, which was December's issue, I believe, which has got Take a Ride on the Reading, and there's quite a lot of interesting bits in here. Some of it's not quite my era. The laboratory article is quite an interesting one, seeing what they did with that. Then we've got another railroad book. This is actually Along the Shoreline. There we go. I've completely messed that up. It's the New Haven Railroad Along the Shoreline, the thoroughfare from New York City to Boston. And that's an interesting one. I was looking through this book and the New Haven Railroad book for photos of gondolas and flat cars and that sort of stuff for building New Haven railroad stock, and never saw one that I could use to get OK Brickworks to generate decals from. And then I found a promotional film from the 40s that had them right there, so never mind. These are Lego related books now, so we've got Burrs from Bricks, the Lego Trains book, the English version. I did have the German version, which I gave away to some random person at one of the shows. We got the Sariel, the unofficial Lego Technic Builder's Guide. That's quite useful, and I'll be looking to that when I do tray models. I need to work out a proper chassis, which is usable by everything. And then these 2 are really new books. This Brick City one is the one my brother actually got me for Christmas, so that is the newest thing on the shelf. And then we got the Lego Neighbourhood book. This is actually second hand. Out of this one and the second one, the first one is definitely the one to buy. The second one doesn't have great reviews on Amazon, which is why I didn't buy it. I know it's just a sort of like the second one's actually just more like a reference thing, which isn't really what I'm interested in. So, there's plenty of people showing their work off on Flickr and stuff like that, which is probably a better investment of my resources than actually buying the book and having to flip through it. Then we got Figma Tracer. I'm planning to get a few more of the Figmas for Overwatch, but I don't know when that's going to be at the moment. Then we've got the start of part storage. The top is just filled with random bits. So we've got Guardians of the Galaxy ship here, paint, bogies for drains, instruction manual, I think, which is for the fountain set, because there's several on here. Technic ring from the Brutary excavator, some random tubs of parts. Then we got a miniature cheese tree, which was just an experiment. And then we've also got the 2 figures that came with the deluxe or collector's edition of Life is Strange Before the Storm. And then we got all my DVDs, which are gaming related, and my PS4 copy of Overwatch, and a few other bits and pieces. And then we got some, I think, like the Hobbit set and the crane from the Toy Story line, which I'm going to use at some point in an actual real world thing. And there's the box for Tracer. And we've got a few more tubs of parts up here. This is actually not parts per se. This is actually some track which was ballasted at one point, and it's been left to the side. So, moving on to the Papimax drawers on the shelves. These contain various things, including clipped and handrail elements, levers, steering wheels, car doors, and specialised tiles and other things such as grill tiles, jumper tiles, and that sort of thing. The translucent 1x1 round tiles are also stored in these drawers because it's away from everything else and it makes them unique. The clips and handrail elements in particular are sorted into type, and then generally speaking sorted into dark colours such as black, brown and grey, and then other pots for different colours. So sometimes elements may only be split up into 2 different colour lots, sometimes it might be 3, depending on how much of the elements I have. A special note here that the handrail elements at the back of the one drawer, which are the closed end variety, are pretty much only for Brickmaller Railroad builds, so they're kept separate and stored separately, which is why the reds are all together, because I've been building quite a lot of red hoppers. Moving on to the main desk, working from left to right, there are 2 columns of 7 Papimax drawers. The column on the left is exclusively for plates of 1 times however and 2 times however width, with the second column being for bricks for the first 4 drawers from the top, with the bottom 3 being used for slopes, Technic bricks, as well as special bricks such as masonry or bricks of that nature where they don't fit into regular brick patterns. The storage drawers themselves from the Elder units and the organisers are arranged into various groups such as tiles, which don't fit into anywhere else, curved slopes, 1 complete unit is devoted just to Technic, and there's a few other bits and pieces as well, which are up here which aren't in anywhere else. Plants and animals are also stored here as well, with the exception of the horses, which are stored separately, and some of the plants which are stored into the metallic tin section on top. But there's quite a lot here that's used for various things. There is also another stack of drawers behind the computer monitor, which you can just about see on the first image. And that's used for miscellaneous stuff and working project stuff such as the Brickliner coach parts and a few other bits and pieces as well. Lastly, behind my bedroom door is the detective's office, which is built, as well as some older City sets and a mock I was working on and I'm now currently breaking down very slowly. So that's it for the workbench tour of 2018. It's been a quick breeze through. I'm not going to go through individual drawers because there's far too much to go through. Okay, so that does cover most of it. There are a few things that aren't covered. So behind me, or behind the camera I should say, on the wall where my bed is, there's actually 3 lots of storage units, which are for minifigures, food, minifig accessories, and there's a few other bits and pieces, mostly plants, stickered elements and stuff like that. The plants, there's also this set of 3 tubs up here, and these all have different things in. So those have the those foliage elements, the middle one has actual trees, and then the bottom one, I don't actually know what's in the bottom one. Those. So, you know, everything is a bit of a mismatch. And the other thing to note is there's two vertical sort of drawer units, and they can also contain Lego. The bottom one of the one also contains all the power function stuff, which is spare, with the exception of a lot of desk build and stuff like that. So that's something else to look out for. And then the bookcase, which you did sort of briefly see in the shot of the detective's office, that's got trains on top, and it's also got all the World War One stuff on the bottom, and there's also some box sets as well. The only other place you'll find sets in terms of box sets is actually in my room, is underneath the bed. Outside of all that, there's some stuff stored in the shed, which is mostly just a few poly bags, some open poly bags, and road vehicles, because I bought a load of city sets in the past, so all the vehicles and that are actually stored in the shed. So that actually does cover my entire collection, with the exception of some stuff on the shelves. So that's pretty much it. So that's it. And as always, if you got comments, put them in the comments. And yeah, see you later.